We want to bring in Ken Dilanian. He is NBC's Justice and Intelligence correspondent. Ken, you've been looking at this, speaking to the investigators who are associated with events like this. Walk us through what we can glean from what we've seen here. What are the key revelations in these documents?
So, guys, one of the most significant revelations came not from the affidavit, but from the memo the DOJ filed to justify the redactions. That talked about a significant number of civilian witnesses. And what that tells us is the FBI is talking to a lot of people here, and some of them appear to have had inside information because the affidavit shows us the FBI knew exactly where to look for some of these documents. Also significant is the mention in the affidavit of obstruction of justice. They expected to find evidence of obstruction at Mar-a-Lago. And then lastly, we had new insight into just how extraordinarily sensitive some of the documents were that were found in January at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, let me follow up with you on that point. How sensitive were the documents, and what could the national security implications be, Ken?
Wow. Kristen, there are secrets and there are secrets. And these documents suggest that they were some of the most closely guarded secrets in the U.S. government. What jumped out at me is this term, human control systems. That refers to human source reporting, often a report of a CIA interview with an overseas source. Those documents usually don't leave the CIA, but I'm told that occasionally briefers will present them to a president during a daily brief to underscore a piece of intelligence. The idea that that was outside a secure vault, and other notations were for signals intelligence, that's intercepts of communications by the National Security Agency. No foreign, which means it's so sensitive it can't be shared with even our closest allies. These are the kind of documents that don't leave secure facilities, and the idea that it was sitting in a golf club is unimaginable.
The DOJ didn't want any of this shared initially. They agreed to some of these redacted items being shared. The judge went along with that. So where do we go from here? What's next, and what is the likelihood that anybody, perhaps the former president, is charged with a crime?
So obviously there's a lot we still don't know here, and it's, as president, Trump was entitled to this material, but it's now clear that he was on notice, first by the National Archives and the DOJ, that he shouldn't have this stuff and he should give it back. And then there's also this factor of obstruction, which we know very little about. Of all the many legal threats facing Donald Trump at this moment, this one seems to be the most dangerous.
Yeah, and underscoring lives could have been at risk with this material.
Oh, absolutely. And particularly CIA sources, those are the most closely guarded secrets.
All right. Ken Dilanian, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Ken, appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.